Is it not clear to everybody that the Las Vegas Aces are going to win the 2023 WNBA Finals in 5 games? If it's not clear to you, then stick around for this whole video because I'm going to explain exactly why the Las Vegas Aces are going to take the WNBA championship this year. I go by the name of DJ Treacy Treese, and thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of The Spark. It has been a long WNBA season, but you know one thing that's been constant this whole time? The Las Vegas Aces domination over every team, and that's because of A'ja Wilson, y'all. A'ja Wilson has had a great WNBA season this year and arguably deserved the MVP award back-to-back. Now, I'm not here to argue about that because Stewie had more 40-point games than her, and that's probably why Stewie got the MVP nod over A'ja Wilson. But it's undeniable that A'ja in every single game has carried her team on her back, even though she's got some heavy-hitting superstars. Now, Stewie has done a great job for the Liberty as well. That's a newly formed super team that everyone has had their eyes on because Stu York, y'all. She's been doing her thing in New York and bringing a lot of excitement, selling out the Barclays Center. What New York has been doing is exciting and great for the WNBA. So I'm not here to be a hater about that, but I'm here to just talk about the reality of the situation, y'all. Have the Aces not been the most dominant team this season? Has Stewie not been shut down by several teams that they shouldn't have lost to? You know, sometimes JJ doesn't show up. Sometimes Sloot doesn't show up. Sometimes Ionescu doesn't show up. But New York has found a way to make their way to the finals. I will also add that this is a pretty predictable finals, y'all, right? The top team in the East is playing the top team in the West. I could have called these finals. Actually, I did call these finals at the beginning of the season based on just the players that were playing on the teams. But the fact that the Connecticut Sun gave the New York Liberty so much run for their money, and they were almost shut down by Alyssa Thomas, it makes me worry about them against the Aces. The Aces have an unstoppable offensive force in Chelsea Gray and Kelsey Plum and MVP. I'm sorry, not gonna say past MVP. A'ja Wilson, because I don't want to slight Stewie because Stewie's been doing her thing as well. It's really the battle of MVP last year versus MVP this year. But the one defining factor for me is that A'ja Wilson is Defensive Player of the Year this year. I don't know how the New York Liberty are going to respond really to the overwhelming defensive in the paint force that is A'ja Wilson, y'all. Not when Stewie in the semifinals got blocked by Heidemann. That was crazy. I don't know how that happened, but the fact that just the height differential alone, that should be impossible in my opinion. So A'ja always goes that extra step, playing that more physical basketball and getting those extra rebounds, making things happen offensively for herself in the paint, outside of the paint. Whereas sometimes if Stewie's shot ain't hitting, Stewie's shot ain't hitting. So I think it's going to go to 5 games for sure, but I definitely think that the Aces are going to take the championship. Again, it is something to be said about the coaches as well, because Becky Hammon and New York's coach are the first two WNBA coaches to have been players, but are also coaches now. So that's a huge advantage on the coaching part as well when you have coaches who have been in your position as well. But I don't see a way in the world in that the New York Liberty can actually consistently pull these games off, because over the whole season, they've been up, they've been down, they've been going up and down. So, hey, I'm saying they're going to get the best out of 5 here. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, but in my book, New York might get 1 game. New York might get 1 game. I don't think that the Aces are going to let up at all. Jackie Young, Kelsey Plum, they have so many shooters that shoot. So yes, Ionescu and all, I think they have great defense that will frustrate the New York Liberty. But Betnijah Laney might be the wild card in there, as well as Jonquel Jones, JJ. but she was kind of frustrated with the Connecticut Sun. So if you can get locked up by the Connecticut Sun, there ain't no way you making it through the Aces. Y'all, let me know what you think about the WNBA finals. They start this Sunday. And the NBA season is also starting. So we got a lot of basketball. Make sure you keep it locked on my channel. If you are listening to the audio version of this podcast, make sure you visit me on YouTube so you can follow my NBA podcast, which is called Lakers I Choose You. Again, I will keep this feed active during the NBA season with just updates on what the Sparks are doing. I'll get back to Sparks basketball once the WNBA finals are over. But of course, I got to talk about women's basketball on this show, as well as keeping more NBA news and basketball news, maybe some G League news coming up on my channel. So thank y'all so much for tuning in to this episode of The Spark, and like, share, subscribe on the DJ Tracy YouTube. I'll talk to y'all soon after Sunday's game.